Hello everyone, it's Osama Abdulwahab, a senior student at STEM Ismailia High School. In this video, we are gonna explain the basics of fluid mechanics, mainly the concept of pressure. Before starting and going deeper into our lesson, firstly, we will revise the classification of matter. Basically, matter is normally classified as being in one of three states: solid, liquid, or gas. From everyday experience, we know that a solid has a definite volume and shape, a liquid has a definite volume but no definite shape, and an amplifying gas has neither definite volume nor a definite shape. These descriptions help us picture the states of matter. Likewise, most substance can be solid, liquid, or gas, or a combination of any of these three, depending on temperature and pressure. Now, what is the definition of fluid? A fluid is a collection of molecules that are randomly arranged and held together by weak cohesive forces and by forces exerted by the walls of the container. Both liquids and gases are fluids. Now, let's give a definition for the cohesive forces. Cohesive forces is a property or an action of like molecules as water to stick together and being mutually attractive. So, in our treatment of mechanics of fluid, we consider the mechanics of fluid at rest, that is fluid statics, and then study fluids in motion, that is fluid dynamics. That is fluid dynamics. Now, let's move to our first section and talk about pressure. The only stress that can be exerted on an object submerged in a static fluid is one that tends to compress the object from all sides. In other words, the force exerted by static fluid on an object is always perpendicular to the surface of the object. Then, how to measure the fluid pressure? The pressure in fluid can be measured with this device. This simple device is used for measuring the pressure exerted by a fluid. The device consists of an evacuated cylinder that encloses a light piston connected to a spring. As the device is submerged in fluid, the fluid presses on the top of the piston and compresses the spring until the inward forces exerted by the fluid is balanced by the outward forces exerted by the spring. Then, if is the magnitude of force exerted by a piston and A is the surface area of the piston, then the pressure of the fluid, denoted by letter P, at the level at which the device has been submerged is defined as the ratio of the forces to the area. The average pressure is the force divided by area, as we show here in this equation. As the force is a vector, pressure is a scalar quantity because it's proportional to the magnitude of the force on the piston. There is no direction for the associated pressure, but the direction of the forces associated with the pressure is perpendicular to the surface on which the pressure acts, as we said before. The units of pressure are newtons per square meter in SI system. Another name for SI unit of pressure is in Pascal, where 1 Pascal equal 1 Newton per meter square. Now let's move to the section 4 and talk about point forces and Archimedes principle.